height. It was the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus at that time. They had a huge monopoly of it, and as a consequence of their monopoly, had a great show. She was also a headliner in vaudeville, big-time vaudeville, which in today's terms would probably be television as far as its magnitude and its importance. But I think one of her more interesting venues is revue. She was in the Ziegfeld Follies and also the Ziegfeld Frolics, and people might not know what that is today, but Ziegfeld in its day was really glamour for the United States. I suppose Florence Ziegfeld was the Hugh Hefner and the CEO of MTV for his time, because culture came from the Follies and was translated to the rest of the United States through Flo.
Bird Millman born and grew up, or just born in Canyon City?
She was born in Canyon in 1890. There's some discrepancy. A lot of books say 1895, and that's probably because she lied about her age pretty frequently. She may have. And also, she might have lied about her age because of vaudeville. At the time that she was in vaudeville as a child star, vaudeville was under a lot of scrutiny for abusing the children that worked in vaudeville. So her parents probably routinely lied about her age just so that they could get bookings and not get thrown in jail that night.
So, your fascination with Bird Millman began how long ago?
It was when I was 18. How long ago was that? 8 years ago? I think the paper said 9 yesterday. But 8 years ago, I was reading an article by Michael Welch, who used to write a lot of editorials in the Daily Record, and he himself was very fascinated with Bird Millman. Long before I came on the scene, he was very interested in her and had done a lot of research that he had given to the local history center at the public library. And when I read his article, I called him up to talk about it, and he got me started. He immediately had this infectious fervor for her that I caught on to. And also my sister had drawn the picture that was in the paper, and that fascinated me for some reason. She didn't keep that, neither did I. But
why was the picture was just drawn for his column?
Actually, the picture was just from the archives, and my sister had drawn a very elaborate rendering, just a sketch from that picture, and that's just always stuck in my head. It's probably of no consequence at all.
So, then you started doing all of the research.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Most of it right here in town?
Oh, yeah. Primarily from the local history center. Their scrapbook there was very thorough, and all the other materials they have. And Cara Fisher down there really got me started. I had started writing it before I had done enough research, and I was telling Cara about what I was writing and what I had so far, and she said, well, you haven't done enough research. And so she went and copied the scrapbook for me, said, you need this, and I'm not going to charge you because you need it.
So you were in college now when this was taking place?
I was just about to start college when I had started writing the dramatic piece, just before I went to school at USC.
In other words, when you started doing the research, you knew immediately, when you had conversation with Michael Welch, you knew immediately what you wanted to do with it?
I knew that I wanted to put it on the stage, but at that point I wasn't sure how. Didn't know how it was going to happen, but my initial concept for the staging really has not changed that much.
So what did you start writing? Did you start writing an actual screenplay?
I started with just a scene for a play, and I had started between Grandpa Engelman and Bird Millman, and that character of Grandpa Engelman has since changed to Grandma Emma, because the more I did research, Grandpa Engelman was out of town by then.
Well, some of the names have been changed to protect the innocent, or what?
Kind of, and to be historically accurate, and a lot of reasons.
Okay, so then how historically accurate is the story?
There is a lot of history and research that goes into it, but I took liberties wherever I felt it was necessary. Oh yeah, I had to. Of course I didn't know exactly what they were doing and why, but some of the places that I took liberties are very obvious. Some of them aren't obvious, but they're not really that big a deal, and nobody would really know. So I didn't worry too much about it, and that's the kind of thing that's always done.
All right, so Bird Millman, connections to Canyon City. After she left town, that was it? Did she have any relatives? Did she ever return?
She did have some relatives. Her grandpa, of course, was a big deal in Canyon long before she got here. In like the 1870s, he opened a general store. Was a really well-known merchant. And he left for Montrose, but his wife stuck around, Emma, and she's a character in the play. And also she had an uncle, her mother's brother. And all I know of him, I learned from a gentleman named Ed Lawrence who knew him, who said that he could cuss for half an hour without repeating himself. That's all I know about this guy. And really, for a play and an offstage character, that's all you need to know. So I was able to use that information. I think one of the more interesting returns that she had was after the Liberty Loan Drive, or during it, I should say. No, after it. Because she had done a lot of publicity stunts like walking over Broadway and walking over Wall Street and raising war bonds. And then after all that, in 1923, she came to Canyon to do a benefit for the vets of World War I, just in downtown Main Street. And I thought it was kind of neat to go from Broadway to Wall Street to Main Street, Canyon City. Yeah.
But she was born Jenadine Engelman. And took the name Bird Millman early as in her childhood days in vaudeville?
That I don't know when she got the name. I'm sure it was probably at the advice of an agent or somebody, but Jenadine, the Jenny part probably comes from her mother Genevieve, who was called Jessie, actually.
But some material that I saw published in the Fremont Center for the Arts newsletter talked about her parents achieving modest success in the circuses as Millman and Millman.
And I had not even known that they were called Millman and Millman until a few months ago, or maybe a year ago. But they were kind of successful in local circuses that mostly played the Colorado area, just the two of them, and they were wire artists. And both of them were raised in Canon City. I don't know that they were both born here, but they were both grew up here.
That's the other key that we haven't really touched on. She was a high wire artist.
Yes.
Which naturally fits the casting of Cheri Hinz as Bird Millman, right?
Yeah. Accomplished wire artist that Cheri is.
Means.
You tell us what it means. What I mean, on a stage play, I mean, how much liberties can you do in the vaudeville staging of Bird Millman as a high wire artist?
Yeah.
You're limited?
We represent the wire. We don't actually have a wire. I don't know how to put that without running people away, but we do represent the wire, and I definitely have to do, I'll call them dances or stunts or whatever, where the wire is definitely represented, and I definitely do some things that the other cast members do not do.
You're obviously not 20 feet in the air.
Exactly, but the wire is represented very well in the staging of the play.
All right. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll share with you the musical aspects of this show with Sam Stokes, who collaborated with August. And we'll take a break. We'll do that when we return here on KRLN's Morning Line. Sam Stokes from Missouri is the musical end of the collaboration with the Bird Millman production coming to the Washington Elementary School for Fremont Civic Theatre. Sam, tell us about your collaboration with August Mergelman on Bird Millman and how all of that came about.
It's been a long collaboration project. He actually showed me the original script a couple of years ago, and it's gone through several revisions since then. Actually, I didn't add the music, or start adding the music, until this last summer when we came up with some of the main themes of it. Then I finished it all by about the beginning of February this year.
This is the first major project of this kind that you've got your feet wet in?
That's right. I've done several other large-scale music composing projects, but never writing a full-length musical such as this.
Okay, so how did the two of you connect in college, right?
Right. He was getting his master's degree while I was still working on my bachelor's. I still am, actually. I'll be graduating this year. And we met for the first time through the Central Missouri Repertory Company, which is a summer theater group out of Central Missouri State University.
And you collaborated on his... This Bird Millman is his original idea, right? How did it bloom and blossom?
Yeah, that's right. Bird Millman was originally his idea. He did a lot of research on the history, and he had a completed script with lyrics included when he finally showed it to me. So it was pretty well close to being a finished work, just needing the music element to be added.
All right, so he had lyrics. How many pieces of music does this show involve?
Oh, I think the final count was 18 total numbers, and a couple of those are reprises, so it would probably be a total of about 16 songs.
And you spent how much time then?
Well, we had a couple of weeks where we did a lot of just cramming work during the summer before he had to leave to come back to Colorado. So some of it was done then, and then a major portion of it was done in the months of January and February, where I was really sitting down, completing it, and typing everything into the computer so we could have nice printed sheet music for everything.
Did you actually work on this a lot on your own, or did the two of you sit down together and bounce things off of each other?
Well, in that final 2-week cram session of the summer, that's where we did most of our hands-on collaboration. And then after that, when he was back in Colorado and I was in Missouri, we had a little more difficult time collaborating, so he just kind of cut me loose, and I did a lot of that on my own after that.
So what type of music are we talking about in this musical?
It's kind of a mixture. I did some things that would sound sort of authentic to the time period, which is basically encompassing around the turn of the century. And so I did some stuff that sounded sort of authentic to the period, and then some stuff that maybe sounds a little more modern, so that way everybody can kind of pick up what they like from it.
All right, you talk about this coming together in a cram session, where the creative juices flowed, I suppose. Were you satisfied, or did you have to go back and say, oh, I didn't like that, and make any changes?
Well, the cram session, we came up with the basic themes for the songs, but then when I finally got back to that, I realized that a lot of them, I'd only written maybe 16 measures of music, and so in order to accompany all of the lyrics that he wrote, I couldn't just keep repeating the same music over and over, so I had to get much more creative in the month of January and February in order to make it sound like a completed piece of music.
Now we have solos, choruses. What's the mixture here?
Oh, there's there's a lot of vocal solos, and there's few songs where the chorus also sings, few duets and trios where we have some different harmonies and things, and yeah, that's it.
So you plan to be in Canon City for the production to see it firsthand, or are you actually going to be helping with the production?
Well, I was only able to make it in this week to help with the rehearsals because I'm still schooling at Central Missouri State University, so this is my spring break, and that's why I came up here to see the rehearsals, and I'm going to be able to make it in town for at least one of the shows. So,
are you exciting after seeing some of the rehearsals? This is your first major effort to see some of your work on stage, I guess, right?
That's right. Yeah, it's been very exciting just to see how things are coming to life. Obviously, at this stage in the production, we still have quite a ways to go, but it's just neat to see it in this stage and then, to see how it turns out later on.
So what are you studying for at Central Missouri State?
I'm studying to get my bachelor's in music. It's specifically a jazz commercial degree, which means studying jazz music to play in business settings, going out and playing with big bands and things like that. And also, I'm focusing more in on the arranging and composing side of the jazz degree.
So after this experience, you want to tackle another project somewhere down the line?
Oh, definitely. In fact, right now, I'm getting ready to go to New York City to interview for a graduate study position at New York University, where I would be writing musicals. It's a musical theater writing program, and so I'm auditioning for one of the composer spots for that.
So, as a product between you and August, the Bird Millman, are you going to get it published, or is that a major step?
That's something we hope to see later down the line. We want to get maybe a few other productions of it going, maybe in other places in the country. And we haven't quite decided where we're looking at for that. We have a couple of ideas, and we want to see if we can get a few productions in, because that's something that definitely helps convince a publisher to publish a work if it gets performed more than once.
So do you have some bait out there to see if anybody else wants to put it on stage?
Well, August has been doing a lot of checking in onto that. He's looking at some, I guess, a few other places here in Colorado, and we're hoping maybe Central Missouri State University would at least take a look at it and see if that would fit into their schedule as well.
So August, Sam Stokes interview recorded here a couple of weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
When you first started working on this script and stage movement and logistics, did everything fall into place, or did you have to make a lot of notes in the margin as you went along?
Sam actually was a huge help with me with just the literary elements of the plot. He's very literarily minded, and he just frankly told me, I don't quite get what you're getting at with the themes and the characterization and everything, and his question and answer sessions that we had, those helped tremendously for me to realize I had to make the theme clearer. I did a lot of revisions in the book because of that, and he wasn't just going to write the music to the lyrics. He wanted to know what this story was about and why we were writing it. So I enjoyed working with him for that reason. And it's hard to get feedback like that, even from people that you really want the feedback from. And he was one of the few people who just said, I'm not getting this. This is strong, this part's weak. And that was very helpful.
So he challenged you.
Yes, he did. Mm-hmm.
All right. We're going to take another break. We'll talk more about the production coming up at Bird Millman, Fremont Civic Theatre, April 11th through the 14th. We'll hear this and then be back on Morning Line. Now, 8 away from 9 o'clock this morning, August Mergelman and Cheri Hinz are with me. August, the writer, co-writer, and producer of the show, Bird Millman. Production dates April 11th through the 14th, Washington Elementary School. Cheri Hinz plays the role of Bird Millman. Ever played a role like this before? You've been in musicals, haven't you?
I've been a chorus member in musicals.
Oh.
I've never had the lead character in a musical.
In the spotlight, huh?
Yeah. I've had other leading parts in other plays, but not a musical, no. To be exact, my very first role was in the 6th grade, and I played Annie Oakley, a contemporary of Bird Millman.
Exactly.
And I had no lines. I just shot the gun and got a big laugh and whatever. But after that, of course, I've done lots of theater, and I went to school for theater in Missouri also, a different school, which shall remain nameless, and a lot smaller school with a lot less of a theater department than August went to. He went to the school that we all aspired to go to. Anyway, I played Annie Oakley, and that was a lot of fun, and that's what got me hooked. After that, I just hope to keep doing this.
Okay, so how many songs in this show are you performing?
4 or 5 that I have either with a trio or a duo or I have a solo, and then I'm in the chorus songs also. So pretty much almost all of them.
When Sam was here, did he assist as far as was he a good deal of assistance? Tom Ledbetter is directing this.
Yes.
Did he help interpret some of this musically beyond what August and Tom maybe were able to do?
I didn't get to speak with Sam nearly as much as I'd hoped to, but he was a big help just having him there. He was a great inspiration, and he was able to, I don't know, he just brought something there that hadn't been there before. But as far as actual interpretations, I think we were kind of on the road there anyway, and August has been such an amazing help in that area.
Okay, so how many people on stage? How many people in cast?
I think there's 18 or so.
There's 18.
A lot
17 or
more
18.
than it started out as.
Right, right.
Quite a bit. When I first gave Tom the script, it was the Millman Trio. It was a straight play, and it was 4 actors did all the roles. And since then, it is multiplied and multiplied to Tom's dismay because he likes small casts.
But it's wonderful.
Yeah,
Why did it multiply?
Well, as a musical, it's just got to be bigger.
Yeah,
You need
dancers.
you need
Chorus.
more in a musical.
So you put these people in crowd scenes, or what?
That is one thing that Sam and I have got to work on, and I call it the chorus problem. We have just got to figure out why the chorus is on stage, what they're singing, who they are, all of these things.
What their actions are.
Yes. Because we left that open-ended, and that was kind of a mistake. It's our production, I don't think, suffers for it, but it's something that directors and musical directors are going to be knocking their heads against the wall forever unless we get that figured out.
All right, so Cheri, how are the rehearsals going?
They're getting much better. I'm very excited. The whole cast is very excited. I think
You're rehearsing at the airport?
Yes. In Tom Ledbetter's hangar.
All right,
Yes.
now the connection.
Yes, and we have the set built there so that we can work on the set, which of course helps me a lot with that wire representation we mentioned earlier. And it's just, they're moving along very nicely, and people are working really hard, and they're very excited. I think that we're all really excited to be doing this for August and Sam, and for Bird herself, but also this is the first time this play's been done, and we're really excited to be in the initial...
The world premiere.
The world premiere, yes. And it's an honor for me, too, I have to admit.
All right, now, you've got a City of Canyon City grant to help you finance this production, but you have to match it?
Yeah, that wasn't a problem, though. We just were able to take funds that we had and match it that way. So it was not a problem.
All right, you're going to do 5 performances all within the course of, 4 days and 1 week?
Yeah, very soon. Thursday, Friday, 2 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. Sunday and Saturday matinees are at 2, and then the rest are at 7 o'clock. And the Thursday, we are trying to get people in there, so the tickets are going to be $5, our discount price. Other than that, they're going to be $6. And you can get all of these starting April 1st at the Book Corral, Safeway, and the Fox Den of Antiquity in Florence. They'll have them.
All right, so the first production night is Thursday the 11th. All right, and that's 7 o'clock, did you say?
And those are all $5 seats.
7 o'clock the 11th, 7 o'clock the 12th, 7 o'clock the 13th,
and also 2
p.m. on the 13th and 14th.
Yep.
Washington Elementary School Auditorium.
Yeah.
And you're going to have very limited rehearsal time in the Washington, aren't you?
It is, but that's typical for Fremont Civic Theatre because we don't have a home, and so we have to just move into a place. But since we have the hangar and we have lights there, we're using Tom Ledbetter's lights. So I just,
They're hot.
Yes, to say he's the director is better
I got to ask you, because I was told that Rudel Mergelman, the artist that he is,
yeah,
has contributed substantially to your set.
Oh, he has.
Beautifully.
Yes. I've done a lot of scene painting, and I gave him the assignments to do these things, and I thought that he would be scrambling to get them done by the time we needed them. He did them all in a day. You know?
They look wonderful. Yeah.
So his contribution has already just been tremendous.
So those folks in the community who admire Rudel's artistic work come at least to see his contribution.
Yeah,
as
come
well.
see the elephant. Come see it.
See the elephant. I heard about the elephant.
The elephant is great.
The animated elephant.
The animated
is.
elephant. Oh.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you hope August to publish it, or is this the defining moment to get it on stage the first time?
Like Sam said, we need to get it produced again, and it needs to probably be in a bigger city and get more recognition, maybe a semi-professional theater company, because, theater's got this inferiority complex, and it thinks it's got to be a big production in order for it to be published. So that's what I'm aiming for next.
So after you look at this production and videotape it and watch it again, do you go back and do revisions?
I'm doing them now, yeah. I see things now, changes that Tom is making, and then changes that I see probably should be made. I'm just penciling them now, or I won't do it later.
Okay. Book Corral, tickets at the Book Corral, Safeway in Canyon City, in Florence at the Fox Den of Antiquity, and tickets will also be available at the door. Ticket prices again were what?
$5 on Thursday night, and then $6 for other nights.
Again, this is not next week. This is April 11th through the 14th, Washington Elementary School. Thanks to August Mergelman. Good luck on the production. And to Cheri Hinz plays the role of Bird Millman. KRLN Canyon City, it's 9 o'clock.